Duke, and I'm with Knoxville Personal Training. Thanks for joining in. Today I'm going to show you a fabulous recipe for marinara sauce. I make a huge bulk quantity of it when I make it, so that way I can stick it in the freezer, and it's super easy to make. You use the crock pot, so I mean it really doesn't get easier than that. Check out my website knoxvillepersonaltraining.com and also like us on Facebook. So I start off here with 6.5 pounds of tomatoes. This one is just crushed tomatoes. I've also used just regular fresh tomatoes. That works out great. I love getting organic. This one's not organic, but I just got it at Sam's Club, just super easy find. So I went ahead and poured this, half of it, into my crock pot, and the other half I'm going to pour into my Vitamix blender. You could probably just use a food processor or a regular blender, but I really like using my Vitamix blender a lot. So you just gotta watch out for splashing. Woo, that does splash a lot. So maybe a better option might be to just kind of slowly pour it in there. So let me try this. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, so I've poured about half of here. Whoop, I'm making a mess. I've poured about half of the container into my Vitamix blender. Let me grab a paper towel real quick. I've poured the other half into my crock pot. So, if you're like me and you make a mess, it might be easier maybe to spoon it in. So I think that's probably what I would recommend to you. So I went ahead and poured that into my Vitamix, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pour just a little bit more into my crock pot. I don't want to get this Vitamix too full, so that looks good. Then I'm going to take my fresh organic basil. I just got this at Earth Fair. I'm going to pour this into the Vitamix. And this is 4 ounces. I've taken off most of the large stems. Some of the stems are still on there, but I took off just the really big ones. Okay, so now I'm going to use just some fresh minced garlic that I've made, and basically all I did is I just took garlic, put it in my food processor with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, and just made my own. So super fresh. You can also make this in bulk and freeze it. I do that as well. So I'm just going to take 2 heaping tablespoons of that, and I'm going to go ahead and put this lid on. You want to make sure that this lid is nice and secure. I'm going to take this little top off. Now this is what's great about the Vitamix, is you have this plunger, and it really helps kind of push everything down. So if you don't have Vitamix, food processor will work just as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on just a small level here. I'm going to go ahead and press that basil all the way down. And I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. Oh, that looks good. Oh yeah. Okay, that looks good. You don't want it too blended, so I think that's just about right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top off, and I'm just going to pour this mixture, this basil tomato mixture, right into the mixture of just the regular canned tomatoes or fresh tomatoes if you'd like. Let's try to get most of that out of there. That's about right. Alrighty. And then you take your spoon and you just stir it all up. You'll want to add a pinch of salt to this if you can tolerate salt. It tastes just fine without the salt. This recipe usually calls for a little bit of olive oil. I find without the olive oil it tastes just great. So you can choose to add a little bit of olive oil to this and a little bit of salt. But I mean, that's really it. I don't add onions to my marinara sauce, but you certainly can. You can add the onions just all mixed up in the blender with the basil if you'd like that as well. I like my marinara just plain Jane. So this, you're going to put this on low for about 7 to 8 hours, or high for about 4 hours, and then you have the most tasty, delicious marinara sauce, and it's super not processed, especially if you use organic whole tomatoes. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Super simple. If you like this recipe, just go ahead and share this on Facebook. And thank you so much for watching Like Knoxville Personal Training on Facebook. Thank you.